that had been saying about him. And when he said that and he released it, he says it's like light came to him and he started doing different shapes with different, he says that even when other clay potters hear the kind of pottery he does, they don't, it's not easy, because he can now handle clay. And he said that if he has not, in fact, when he wakes up in the morning, he says, whom should I forgive today, before he goes to his work? Because if he goes to that kind of pottery, very fine pottery, if he goes to that place with anything in his soul, any bad thing that he hasn't let go, he will not make it. The fingers will go wrong, the clay will go wrong, and whatever. It was so nice, and he demonstrates it. And for me, that was a pictorial demonstration of what it is when you're carrying a lot of baggage, a lot of unforgiveness, and showing how a dark soul really keeps you from going to your destiny. It really will keep you from going to your destiny, because like this guy, he's one of the best potters now, and uses this to explain that clay has a memory.
Oh yeah.
What he meant by that is that if you have clay and you want to change it to become a pot, let's say, right, in a certain shape, and you want to
change a vessel or anything else.
Yeah, a vessel, and you want to change it into something else, it's not so easy, because it has a memory. It wants to stay in the way it was made. Right. So you have to really break it and mold it again to be able to remove all the memory of how it was shaped before you can make a new vessel, a new kind of shape. So he uses that to say it's the same thing with our souls. They have memory. They have memories, and you have to break those memories completely to be able to mold your soul into what it should be again. I don't know if I'm going too deep. I hope I don't lose your listeners.
No, it's actually quite insightful. Yeah.
Yeah, talking about the memory, do you believe it's all of these causes and reasons of the depression goes back from childhood, and like one trigger from adult life can bring you back to this depression?
I'm not really an expert as such, like a psychologist, to talk about what triggers depression and all that, but I know that if you're not talking, let's not talk about clinical people who get clinically depressed. We're just talking about the normal depression. Maybe it has come during the COVID-19.
Right.
I don't know. That I really believe, and this is my opinion, I'm not quoting anyone, I do believe that if you are depressed, there's a deeper root than just your depressor. And I don't know, it could come from anything. It could come from a trauma. It could come from something that happened in your childhood. It could have from something that happened. Even some people just lost their jobs. If you lose your job, that is rejection. Scientists say that the pain of rejection is equal to the pain you feel when you break your leg. And the worst is that the pain when you break your leg, you forget about it. But the pain of rejection, you never forget about it. So let's say you lost your job. And and of course, whether you deny it or not, it's a rejection, and it could be painful, and you could be relieving the pain again and again, and it can lead you into depression. So I do strongly believe that if you're depressed, there is a deeper root to it, which sometimes to get well, you need to come to the root of it and deal with it. Yeah. I don't know whether I've answered your question there.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. It was like your example and the video you just talked about, the memory from the school memories.
Yes.
So it's interesting how little child still, how it affects like such situation, how it affects in his adult life, and how he needs like just to forgive it to start a new page.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really like what you're mentioning about is really remaking it clear that really gets from one form that it used to be used to to be to a new form, right?
Yes,
And
yes,
it's really a transformative process.
yes, yes. So coming, that's true. You described it very well. You're completely right. Coming from this deformed situation, it's really, you have to be transformed, just like the clay, you know.
Right,
and it
right.
could be painful. Like for me, it was a very painful. It is a painful, and yet there's no other way to go to being completely ready to get a new form. You know, there's no other way. And sometimes people avoid it. There are so many people out there who know they need to change, but because they're not very sure what will this change mean, it's a very uncertain area. What will this change mean? And some of us are even addicted to the wrong behaviors, are addicted to the form we are in, and we don't want to even think about difference. So they run away from going for help, you know. And sometimes your mind lies to you that it's a very painful situation, and the mind lies to you that you're able to keep on controlling your life even when your life is unmanageable. Yeah.
Right. That is actually the main element in addiction, when your life is out of control, when it seems like you've lost control over your life. That's the point of addiction.
Yeah.
And
it's not
I'll
only
encourage everyone. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's not only alcohol. Nowadays, addiction is really, I've also talked about it in one of my podcasts, it's really broader. Nowadays, it's broadened. Even the psychologists have broadened the definition of addiction. We used to think it's only drugs and alcohol. No, you can be addicted to work.
Now, of course, yeah, workaholic.
Yeah, you can be addicted to anything that is out of balance.
Okay, to their phone nowadays, to person. It's also that kind of addiction that people suffer from nowadays, I believe.
Yeah, except coffee. I don't think you can be addicted to coffee.
Maybe that's just because of that big amount of people are addicted to coffee.
Maybe a large number of people are addicted to coffee. Then
that is debatable.
Excuse me?
That's debatable.
Yeah, well, of